Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be discussing a situation we have already touched upon before, but there is a grim update as usual, so we're going to be talking about that. I will be giving a TLDR in case you haven't seen the original video I made. I will also link it down below and in the cards, so if you want a more thorough view of what occurred prior or what was in the news prior, you can view that at your leisure. Anyway, before we get into the distinctly just grim, I can't think of any other word, situation, I did want to thank today's sponsor, which is Box of Goth. Box of Goth is an alternative monthly themed coffin-shaped subscription box filled with gothic, witchy, and horror-inspired items. Box of Goth have new themes available every first of the month, from iconic items inspired by our favorite movies and characters to generally witchy and spooky goodies. The cool thing is you don't necessarily have to subscribe. You can get a one-off box and then decide whether you want to commit to getting a box every month. Box of Goth also do quarterly horror boxes available as one-off boxes. Each box will have 6+ items, though typically the average is usually 10 items. You can find out more and get yourself some spooky goodies at www.boxofgoth.com, and you can also contact Nikki, who solely runs Box of Goth, by Facebook or Instagram, or their email hi@boxofgoth.com. I honestly always look forward to any Box of Goth that comes my way because I always like everything in it and the themes are always related to movies or general horror, creepiness, things that I gravitate towards. The box that I got that I showed was Hocus Pocus themed, which is perfect because Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies that isn't just a favorite movie, but one of those movies that brings you back to your childhood where you can remember the first time you watched it. I super recommend them. They're great. Their customer service is great. They'll always get back to you. I could not recommend them more, so definitely go check it out. Their website is linked down below. So not that long ago, I spoke about Piper Rockelle. Now, if you don't remember who Piper Rockelle is, she is a 14-year-old content creator. I say that because she's on YouTube, but also if you Google her, she comes up as an actress. There's also music apparently, so let's just say content creator. She's 14, like I said, which is an important thing to keep in mind for just general context. She has right under 9 million subscribers, and she had a squad much like the Team 10 squad, but the Piper squad, where her and other content creators of around her age would collaborate. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I find myself in very big discomfort at the idea of such young content creators. Not because I don't think they shouldn't be able to make content, because I think that if it's regulated and if a parent is really looking out for their kids, kids can enjoy doing that, you know? For fun, with no obligation, with no expectation of basically child labor. But then again, a lot of the times we see that these content creators, especially with their squads, have very overbearing manager type parents that will force them to make narratives of like someone has a crush on someone else or there's this drama between this person and that person. So it turns into more of a reality show than like something I think a 14-year-old would enjoy doing, but I mean, I'm far from 14, so who knows? Regardless, Piper Rockelle's mom has been put under the spotlight basically for immensely inappropriate behavior. And in fact, the last time that I made a video about Piper Rockelle, there were quite a few comments, I think I got even DMs, about how the mom was deeply inappropriate and frankly disturbing in her behavior. And that's why I also made the original video, because Pink, yes, the musician Pink, called out Piper Rockelle's channel and her parents as irresponsible for putting her out there in the way she's put out there. There's a really long article that goes through basically everything that Piper Rockelle's mom is being accused of. I'll mention all the things, but I want to focus on one of them because I think one of them is deeply, deeply more disturbing and more life-altering than the others. The title of the article is 11 Kids Have Sued YouTube Star Piper Rockelle's Mom and Her Boyfriend Alleging Abuse and Exploitation. 11 kids who were formerly members of the YouTuber Piper Rockelle's Piper Squad are suing the teen star's mom and her boyfriend alleging physical, emotional, verbal, and sexual abuse as well as financial exploitation, according to court documents. The children filed the suit in the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles on Wednesday, alleging that Piper's mother and her boyfriend didn't pay them for video appearances, made sexually explicit comments about them, and tried to sabotage their YouTube channels after they stopped collaborating with Piper, according to the complaint. There's already a lot going on, from basically child labor for not paying them to be in videos, even though those videos were making massive amounts of money, to sexually explicit comments, to trying to sabotage their channels. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to talk specifically about the sexually explicit comments because as much as all of this situation is horrible, I think trauma can come from those sexual explicit comments as opposed to the other ones that are still serious, but I don't think they're on the same level as being sexually harassed or abused. The suit alleges Tiffany Smith, so Rockelle's mother, was sexually inappropriate with children. The suit alleges Smith made wildly offensive and sexually explicit comments to the children and accuses her of asking one child if they thought another child has a bunch of freckles on his dick. Plaintiffs would frequently hear Miss Smith refer to another squad member's penis as Dwayne the Rock Hard Johnson, the lawsuit says. I mean, just this tiny bit of information is jarring and extremely troubling. The complaint alleges one girl accompanied Smith when she went to the post office to mail some of Piper's used underwear to an unknown individual and remarked to the girl that old men like to smell this stuff. This is a glaring example, pardon the pun, but a glaring example of why I do not support family channels or channels that are basically run by parents, but the only people on camera most of the time are the children, because there almost always is something really troubling behind it. Whether it's these sexually explicit comments or getting to send a 14-year-old girl's underwear to some old man, sending it to anyone, but to comment some old man and that old men like this stuff, it's like, okay, so is this the demographic you're thinking about when you put Piper on screen, that you want old men to be the ones watching as opposed to kids her own age, which would make sense and would be far less creepy, frankly. Who are we catering to here? Because this sending off of underwear distinctly screams, allegedly, you want to appeal to people who should not be attracted to young girls or boys, namely pedophiles. But okay. Miss Smith would often boast to plaintiffs and others about being the madam of YouTube and a pimp of YouTube and that she makes kiddie porn, the lawsuit says. Smith is accused in the suit of inappropriately touching multiple girls on their legs and spanking them and poking their anuses through their clothing. Jesus Christ. The suit also accuses Smith of rubbing one girl's exposed thighs and moving her hand towards her vagina multiple times, as well as commenting on the size of her breasts and attempting to squeeze them. The complaint alleges she tried to spit in the same girl's mouth and on her face, and accuses her of taking a wooden spoon and smacking her body with it. I have no words for this because honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if any of this is going to be caught on camera, because there are so many hours of vlogs and videos similar to vlogs that I think that at least some inappropriate behavior is going to be caught. Now, obviously, they're probably going to want to edit it out, but usually in these situations, something always slips, something always falls through the cracks that shows that someone is being inappropriate. There's no real commentary I can make on all of these actions and behaviors, aside from saying that, aside from being exploitative, which I think goes without saying, they're also predatory, which would make me wonder what is going on behind the scenes. Is there more inappropriate behavior, more extremely inappropriate behavior going behind the scenes? And it would make me want to remove Piper Rockelle from her mother's care, because this is very concerning behavior, especially being so boastful about it. Allegedly, she's boastful about it. So it's just kind of like, if you're this okay with behaving like that, I'm even more concerned, because to me it points to the fact that you think there's nothing wrong with what's going on here. So like I said, I'll link the rest of the article down below, so if you want to read about the sabotaging of the other YouTubers' accounts, you can read that. It's frankly, all of it is just very, very alarming, and I just hope that the mother doesn't get away with this, because we know how women criminals are treated, you know, and especially when it comes to conventionally attractive women, which I don't know if Piper's mom counts as that. However, I could very well see a slap on the wrist happening as opposed to real consequences, which is what worries me. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.